All right, go. What's good? What's good? What's good? You are tuned into the Off the Top podcast hosted by your man, Kill, my brother Yao G. Yao, what's good?
Kale, what's going on, man? How are you, bro?
Hey, the Sixers got a coach. We'll talk about that later. So,
Indeed.
there you go. That's how I'm doing. And it's not Dan Antoni. So let's talk. There you go. That's the point. You could hire the nigga who makes the cheesesteaks at gyms down off South Street.
Yeah.
Before you hire Mike Dan Antoni, and I'd be good. So, but we'll talk about that later.
Got you. I can dig that.
So you want to introduce our guest this week, our illustrious guest?
So we are
in Philly. This is super.
oh yeah. So listen. I'm not sure if you Adini. So my Philly's card like 25 years in. You know what I mean?
Like, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So I identify with Philly. I also identify with New York. I got the best of both worlds. I lived an hour a piece away. So we're gonna get real.
Wait. So I'm gonna start because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm not only a member of the Yao fan club, I'm also the president.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna lie, I forget what the song, but like when you be like, shout out from the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, and I'm like, okay, that's Philly, right?
That's DC.
That was
DC. That's VA.
Shouted out some Philly road.
I did. I want to say it was the Walt Whitman Bridge.
Walt Whitman.
Yeah.
I don't really. I hear Chesapeake. I'm like, yo, that's south of Jersey. So
yeah.
And then I was like, obviously you shouted out New York Roadway, so I always know that your Philly card is very strong. You never.
I appreciate that. See, Adina is actually a day one fan. First let me get into the intro. These two are really good friends of mine. Right. Always show support for my music and whatever I'm doing online. Just trying to promote myself and rap, poetry, sports, whatever the case may be. Dean's actually put me on to a couple of opportunities at Bleacher Report when she was there for a little bit, so I appreciate that. Right now, they are the owners of the upstart sneaker resale business entitled Another Lane, as you can see on the Dean's hoodie, which I will be copping sometime shortly. They are also married, and we are all about Black love on this podcast. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Chad and Adina Jones, the Jones family, to the Off the Top podcast. Welcome you two to the podcast. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you for having us. Like, y'all is my man, 100 grand. Like, we did our bids at ESPN.
Definitely did our bids.
Ex-cons. I'm happy to see us thriving in the city, and I'll never forget. First of all, I used to do this thing called Sports in the City, where I taught women about sports. Like, we'd bring them to a bar and we'd discuss. I think it would be around the Super Bowl, and I try to tell them like what downs are, what it is when you have a touchback, all these other things. And I made a whole full video, and you know who the intro to my video was? Yeah, the way he explains football in bars, in lyrics is so relatable, whether you know the sport or not. So.
Right. Yeah, so it's always very flattering, you know what I mean, from good friends of mine. But yeah,
I tell him like when we be in the car and I'm listening to like Hump Day and stuff like that.
Oh man, she's like OD, but she's super fan. I'm not gonna lie, but it's good. It's good. I mean, you deserve it. I mean, you're a talented artist, and I like seeing. Yeah, I like your work as well. So.
Chad's always like, "You're a real fan," because I'm like, "Run that back, run it."
Yeah. Hey,
that's
look, man.
That's what's up.
I appreciate y'all.
No, it's almost like having additional PR. So,
bro, listen, I'm telling you, like Adina is front line, like retweets, tweeting. She knows the bars. She breaks down the bars. You know what I mean? So
I was like, because on Another Lane on our Instagram, I was like, I want to make quote cards out of Yao shit because like it's inspirational. It's inspirational.
That's what's up. And the dopest thing is being a fan of an indie artist like that. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the struggle. The big name artists have those fans who just run with you no matter what you do. But it's so hard for the indie artists to get that. So that's love that like you said, yo, like what Jay said, you ain't only a client, you the president of the fan club. So
appreciate
that's definitely dope. That's definitely dope.
We'll get into it, and it's like so. This is the first question for me and it's like I said for the whole panel. And being that you guys are doing the sneaker resale thing, I want to know, particularly Chad, because Chad is as you can see by the amount of sneakers that are behind him.
I told him I love the backdrop. You can't get a better backdrop than that.
If you ever come back up here, I'm taking you to the house. It's crazy. Right. It's crazy in there. But what pisses y'all off about today's sneaker culture? Because obviously you guys have done this because there's been a little bit of dissension between the real sneaker fans and now the sneaker culture that is today. So I want to know what vexes you guys, what pisses you off about it, and why did you guys decide to get into the sneaker business?
Like, how much time do you have? Mayor's ball. That's what I call it. Here we go. This message.
I mean, shit. You said what is the one thing? I mean, there's a bunch of things, but I think really more it's just a disconnect with everything from the history to the transactional nature of things to the lack of respect about the past and the foundation, and then also the opportunities that are available for people that look like us. There's a lot of it. I mean, it like I said, like Adina said, how much time you got?
Yeah, but yeah, like Chad said, like I when I first met him, he was like, yeah, I'm into sneakers, and I was like, yeah, nigga, everybody likes sneakers. And then he brought me to his house. Are we the only people are we here? We're still on. Are we still here?
We're good. Kill, you're good. We're all here. Kills the control room too.
Okay, I'm doing a little bit of everything. Yeah. So since y'all was talking, I wanted the spotlight on y'all. So yeah,
you the technical director. I'm not running shit, even though but I was saying, like, when I first met, he's like, yeah, I like sneakers, and I was like, everybody likes sneakers, and then I meet him and see what it is. But as being with him for 7 years, it's like I've seen the culture vultures and the people who want to deteriorate this culture, and they don't necessarily know the rules of engagement, right? Like, you're not about to lowball me. You're not about to just show me every 13 in your closet. Like, that's not how it goes, right? And there are just rules to this game, almost gentleman's rules, that if you were here in the beginning, them, but now it's turned into something so transactional, and we want to get back to what it was.
Yeah, I would say for me, like, it's just like you see there's so many corny people who weren't into sneakers back then, and all of a sudden it's like their thing. You know what I mean? And it was like, me personally, I've always been into sneakers, and anybody who knows me knows my dad was into sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Even like my dad is like from Ghana, came over here, but he's always had fresh sneakers all the time. So that turned into me always liking sneakers. And it was like, when you see the game now, it's like, I know kids who weren't into sneakers when in the 90s or early 2000s. So all of a sudden it's like, oh no, it's my thing now. It's like, and I understand you could pick up hobbies as you get older, and even the more money you make, you decide that you want to be involved. But it's such a different thing for me. Like, people don't know the history of these sneakers. People don't know who wore them first. Like, what sneaker is which. Even the fact that I saw a meme the other day that had a pair of Dunks, like Michigan Dunks, high top Dunks, and the picture, it was two pictures. It was one on from an outlet mall where the price tag was like $65, and then like the next picture was the same exact sneaker that was on StockX was upwards of like $2,000 or something like that. It's like, bruh, really? Like, is this what we're doing now? Like, they're a pair of Dunks, and even $65 for a pair of Dunks in the outlet is a little bit pricey back in the day. You know what I mean? You might be able to get them for $50, $45, but now all of a sudden it's like $2,000 for a pair of Dunks. Like, what are y'all doing to the culture? And you know what I mean? Like, even the fact that you can't get sneakers on the sneakers app, like, the bots have taken over everything. You know what I mean? It's like, you go on the sneakers app and it's like, I'm a big fan of sneakers and I want them because I want them. It's not to show off. It's like, I genuinely, like, I feel like, I tell Kill all the time, when I wear my Jordan 4s, my Bred 4s, I feel like a superhero just because they're my grails. You know what I mean? So like, there's a certain connection I have to them from my youth. Yeah. You know what I mean? And a lot of these guys are just doing it because it's the cool thing to do, and that's the thing that kind of where it gets convoluted and why I can't stand it. But Kill, I'm not sure how you feel about the sneaker culture. I know you're in it as well, so you know.
I think the crazy thing to just hear everybody, it reminds me so much of hip hop. You know what I mean? And like, you said the word, it's the culture of it. You know what I mean? A lot of people like rap music now, but they don't know anything about the hip hop culture. They don't know anything about the breaking, the DJing, the MCing, the graph, especially the graph. You know what I mean? But I think it's the same with sneakers. I think the thing that kind of took me off is, I'm just like you. I've been in the sneakers since I was 10 years old in 84 and saw Beach Street. You know what I mean? And it was Suede Pumas, Then when Running Them came out, it was Shell Top Adidas. Then when, Jeff and Will came out with Lecoq Sports Heath, when Ella and Stetson had the Troops, you know what I mean? So I think the thing that pisses me off the most is just everything that you guys said, but like my daughter's Nay's about to be 15. So probably I probably stopped really buying sneakers hard probably when she was around 2, because I was like, I need to start saving for college, for for her. But then recently, I really got back into it about maybe 2 years ago, and I remember going to the mall to get the shattered backboard ones, and I was like, yo, so what time are y'all opening up the mall? And he was like, well, did you already, sign up for the lottery? And I'm like, the lottery? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you could win the sneakers? He was like, nah, you got something to the lottery to even get a chance. But I was like, whoa, bro, fuck is you talking about? Like, yo, I'm old. Like, I'm the old man at the club. Like, like, I remember, I guess if Nate's 15, then 13 years ago, you went to the mall, 5 in, you sat in line with other sneakerheads, you talked, you politic, you kind of had that Christmas morning feeling of, am I going to get them? Are they going to have my size? It was a high to it almost. And when I went there and I was just like, you mean so no sneaker stores, 5 sneaker stores in this mall and nobody, I'm not going to be able to just get in line and buy these sneakers? And it was like, nah. And I was like, you feel like the boy who like gets locked up and then 20 years later you get out and it's like, yo, like that happened to my man. He came over my crib. He was like, yo, how the fuck do you got a TV on your wall? And I'm like, my nigga, like this shit has been going on for years. Like this is not a new phenomenon, TVs on walls. But I get it. If you've been locked up for 20 years and you come home, you're like, yo, you got a fucking thing on your wall that talks. Like that's what it was for me. And I was just like, yo, what part of my first thought was, what part of the game is this? That I got to get a lottery to even get a chance to get it. So then I'm on Nike.com. I got 5 things up the next day, and Foot Locker is frozen, and downtown locker room is like the room is full. And so it's just now at the point I just know I have to keep an extra 100 on me for anything that drops. So when the Shadow backboards dropped and they dropped for 160, I know I got to go up to 260 to 300 on StockX. And that's the fucked up part about the game. If you want the sneaker like that, now I just know I just gotta put on. I don't even do sneaker app. Like I'm sick of being made a fool of. It's almost child abuse at this point. You know what I mean? Like to keep doing it. It's like, yo, why am I gonna keep getting fucking running in the rider mess like pocket juice every day? Like it ain't even fun no more. Like I'm getting robbed every day out here. So why even do it? So that part of the game is just whack to me. I love that feeling of getting up early. You know what I mean? And my wife T will be looking at me like, yo, you really got up 5 in the morning? I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, this is like, I'm hype, I'm dressed, I'm ready to go. And if I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. But it's the experience. You meet good people. You chop it up about sneakers and hip hop and other things. And that's all gone now. Like, we don't have it anymore. And that's, to me, is real sad.
Yeah. Anything to add?
I mean, like you made me laugh. It was like just trying to call my cousin on the cell phone. He wouldn't even pick up the cell. He didn't know what to do.
When he got out of jail, he was like,
the phone ain't have no phones. He ain't know what to do.
I mean, that's the game. I was out the game for 10, 12 years. It's like you come back and I'm like, this is it. Like, he looking at me like I'm retarded. Like, yo, what you talking about? We don't do that. Like, where you been? And I'm
like how you ain't know that? You know what I mean? Like, right. But bruh, like I bought sneakers when it was like you walked into the store to buy them. You know what I mean? And got an actual receipt. You know what I'm saying? So
I put it to you like this, right? Like the one thing we all know is that change is constant. So, right, we know what it was like, right? We know what it ain't like no more, right? So we got 2 choices: either keep complaining about the way things are, or we start changing how we do things, right? So we run this shit straight up, right? And if it wasn't for our creativity back then, the shit that's hot now wouldn't be as hot as it was. Yeah, so we can do that all over again. Because there's hot shit that comes out that's way under the radar. Right. It's all about how we decide what we're going to do with it.
And one thing I will say is it's kind of a shame how sneaker culture is treated by the larger companies, right? Because like if you want an Apple iPhone, right, there's going to be a line, right? No doubt. Like if you want to drop, it's going to be a line. But guess what? Eventually, everybody in that line will get one. Or maybe I just have to wait 2.5 weeks or whatever to get it online. Sneakers, fuck out of here. I don't care how long you wait. I don't care, how long you've been out here. We only got 20 pairs in the store and there's 200 people lined up. Like when you have that type of demand, what type of business doesn't supply? And I truly think it's because of the type of people that they think they're supplying to, right? But they think they're supplying to just Black folks, just people in the city, but that's not true. I mean, you and I both know that, like you said, you're gonna keep extra $100. You're a grown ass man. You know, we know executives wearing Jordan 1s that are worth more than probably my car payment, right? But it's just this perception, and so hence it's not provided, and it's a goddamn shame. It really is.
Yeah,
right.
And even like you said, the fact that, okay, for instance, when the Kobe's dropped a few weeks back, like, dog, who doesn't love Kobe? Why would you put a limit on those sneakers? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's not like you guys don't have the mass production to put these things out. Like, why are you holding it back? And like you said, it's because the people who have decided that these things are worth $4,000-$5,000 are kind of fucking the whole shit up. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, why do this sneaker? It should be $250 retail max. You know what I mean? And I'll go cop it because, like, I love Kobe, and not only that, but the sneaker is dope. So not only that, aside from that, like, I play ball, and one of my favorite sneakers to play in is Kobe. So there's that aspect of it as well. So it's like, yo, I like to play in these. It's my favorite. Literally, the Kobe 10s are my favorite basketball sneaker. After I got them, I was like, yo, I don't want to hoop in nothing else because they're just that dope to hoop in. And now that he's passed, it's placed a premium on, even more of a premium on them. You know what I mean? It's just kind of whack to me. So it is what it is, though.
Yeah. Not to belabor, but that's why we started Another Lane, right? Like, there's a lot of reasons why we started Another Lane, which is an e-commerce platform for high net worth sneaker resellers to buy, sell, and trade, and bringing authenticity back to the sneaker community. That's
mission statement. Let's get it.
Right. Elevator speech, real quick. Message.
Mark Cuban, holler at me, Shark Tank. But yeah, that's why we started it, right? Like, okay, the game is going to be what it's going to be, right? Like, they're going to have these limited amounts. You're going to have the extra $100. It's going to go up. You know what? How can I keep more money in my pocket, though, right? So Another Lane is a membership-based app. So you'll be paying a membership to be on Another Lane. And then all the extra fees that you would normally see on other platforms at the end of your transaction, as a seller on our platform, you won't see those. You won't see those at all. So it allows you to put the sneaker at possibly a more reasonable price, right? Because a lot of people on these other platforms are raising the price of their shoes to make up for that ridiculous 8 to 15% markup they're getting. But then also now you're putting more money back in your pocket. And, you know, it's also a Black-owned business. And we hope that a lot of people who look like us also flock to it. But I think just really anybody who appreciates the sneaker game and appreciates their collection would be on the platform for sure.
That's dope. That's dope. Where can we get it? Instagram, website, everything.
So actually, the crazy thing is we are in what they call a pre-revenue stage right now. So we are like set to launch. We're gonna do like a soft launch to Chad's friends and family so that they can upload their product onto the platform. So you know that like everyone who's a member will be what we call certified. So they'll go through an application process. So you're not just buying from like on StockX, eBay, you don't know who the fuck you're buying from, right? But on these platforms, everyone will be certified after going through an application process. And then once they're on there, they can upload their inventory and you can buy the inventory. It'll also be authenticated by like same authenticators that like Louis Vuitton uses and all these other people. So, but yeah, fingers crossed before end of year, it'll be available to the public. And we can definitely let you know, but you can sign up for our listserv for updates and stuff on another-lane.com.
Dope. Now, real quick, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying we're actually getting rid of the hyphen tomorrow because we couldn't afford the URL first. So now we can't afford more expensive URL. So we're getting rid of the hyphen. Whatever. You can still type it.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking about one more thing I hate because when you said eBay, I was watching this thing on YouTube the other day, and I had no idea that now on eBay that they're selling the StockX, the little green thing that comes on it. So what's happening is you'll get a pair of sneakers. You'll get a pair of sneakers on eBay, and it'll have the StockX, the little green tag on it. It'll have all the paperwork that comes with it, but you can buy that now on eBay for $10. So basically what happened was this dude was saying how he got for some Jordans because they were fake, but because you paid $10 for that, and I think like and then he like broke it down. He gave the website where he found where the dude got them from. So basically, the fake Jordans may have been $80 with the $10 thing for StockX. So dude paid $90, but then he resold them for like $800. You know what I mean? So that's just the crazy part to me, that now you can go out and buy the StockX kit that makes it seem like these fakes are authentic, and and they're not. So which is just it's insanity. It's insanity to me, and it's just like, yo, that blew my mind, because it's like you said, on eBay, you don't know who you're buying from.
Yeah.
But that StockX badge was past tense supposed to mean like, okay, I kind of felt okay, I felt good, because obviously it's from StockX, it's got the tag, it's got the authentication paperwork and everything, and then to see that that's for sale on eBay, like, you don't know who to trust out here.
I would rather buy the Nike tag that came on the Jordan 4s, Jordan 5s, the little plastic one that hang off. Right. I would buy that, because that's a memento. That means more to me. But buying a StockX, oh man, it's a dirty game, man. It's a dirty game.
It's dirty. It's dirty. And like you said, because people who, I'll have cats at me like, yo, Kill, send me a picture like, yo, what you think, these Jordan 3s for $150? I'm like, nah, they fake, bro. I mean, it's just certain things you got to know, that if you see a pair of black and cement 3s for $150 on sale, bro, they're fake. There's never on sale for no 3. Like Jordan's, that it's an oxymoron. It doesn't exist. So
happened when I was scrolling through Facebook, that Nordstrom thing. I forget. It was like some tie-dye blue joints.
Oh, yeah. She saw the women's tie-dye ones that were like $60 on sale, and she's like,
I was on Facebook like, what?
But it was some fake ad that was up there, like
he was like, click it. I clicked it. It was like 404 page error. Cannot find.
Right.
Like you said, they're never on sale. This is not happening.
Right. It just doesn't exist.
What do you think about that green tag?
I mean, listen, if anybody, scamming is a thing, you know what I'm saying? So like, with that being considered, like with the way it is scamming on the internet and the way you can hide behind a monitor, these things, they're going to become more and more prevalent. So, you got to be able to safeguard yourself. So you should know where to go. But I see all the time, people just hunt for a picture. They send a picture. They think that's the shoe. And it's not a real site, it's not a real shoe. There's no real indication of what the price is for that, and you could get got out there. It's easy, So we're out here to provide a platform for safe, easy transactions.
Yeah,
and I think what y'all are doing is so dope, because it gives you the peace of mind, and that's just something, like, to me, there's no price that you could put on that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that you had a peace of mind that, like, yo, these are real, because there's no worse feeling than going out and buying some sneakers for $400. And then getting around sneakerheads and them being like, nah, nigga, nah. Like, there's no worse feeling in the world. So it's kind of just like, yo, just spend the extra dollar, pay the membership fees, get it authenticated, and know that you get what you get. All right, y'all. Yeah, my question. We all love Jordans. What is the pair of Jordans you hate the most, that you just wish never existed? You can't stand. You just are like, yo, who the hell designed these? It's just, why do they even exist?
The Jordan 15.
Okay.
All of them.
Okay.
So it's funny. It's funny you said it, because honestly, Chad, I don't bang with many Jordans after 14. You know what I mean? I might I like the 14s. I don't really love the 15s, and maybe the 17s. Maybe, like, but other than that, after 14, I don't bang with them. But the Jordan 14s, 15s, you're definitely correct. I don't bang with those at all.
What's the joints that just came out? I know you're gonna hate me.
22s, 23s.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And look at his face. Look at his face. Like, this is what I deal with. He's looking, am I not a woman?
It's
am
okay.
I not a person?
You're allowed to have your opinion.
He looked at me like, the 35. Okay. I think they're ugly. I'm not here for them. I feel you. Like, after a certain number, we should have just stopped. But yeah, I'm not really here for the 35s right now.
I mean,
I feel you.
Depends on the Jordan for me, but the 15 specifically, because I tore my plantar fascia. The same that happened at Dragic in the finals. That actually happened to me. It was a extremely painful experience, and it was in the Stealth 15s, and I will never forget that. And I have multiple pairs of 15s. None of them got any burn after that.
Damn,
I hear you.
I feel you.
Tragedy. I personally, in terms of like experiences in Jordans, I got my first pair of Jordans when I met, and like, it's crazy, right? Got my first pair of Jordans when I met Chad. It was some Barons, right? That was the first pair you bought me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No. I thought.
But so before I met him, I thought I was fly. I was fly, nigga pie, living in Atlanta. Bachelorette. I could go window shopping at Lenox Mall, whatever. Went to Wish and ATL. You know, I'm a sneakerhead too at that point in time. So I thought, you know, and I went to Wish, ATL, saw these gray and white Jordans. I was like, oh my God, they're only $80. I'm cheap as fuck. You know, my mom was an outlet shopper for my basketball shoes. When I was in high school, like Jordan, I didn't know how to spell Jordans. It wasn't even an option. So now I'm 23, living in Atlanta. I see these gray and white Jordans. I'm like, bet $80. I'm buying them. So, you know, I'm studying. I'm asking people like, oh, what number is these? Do you know something about these? And like, it's name drop. I was friends with Shamika Holskull at the time, and she like laughed me out of the room. Was like, what do you mean? What number are those? Apparently, I was wearing Team Jordans.
Oh, I got
you. That's like Polo Association.
Yeah.
I was wearing Team Jordans, and you could tell me that I wasn't fly, and I was like, "Fuck y'all, I'm still wearing these." And then,
but let me clarify, because like 98 Team Jordans is alright.
The black and white ones,
you know,
dope.
There's a few, you know,
here and there.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a few here and there. But no, that's not those years.
And it was to the point where, like, I think I might have been a year dating Chad, and they would come out the closet a couple of times. And I think we're moving. He was like, "You gotta burn those shits." He was like, "I'm tired." He told me, he was like, "Burn them, throw them out." And I was just like, "Well, they're on my pair of Jordans." And he's like, "I will buy you another pair of Barons." I think we were like a year into dating, and so yeah, Jordans don't have no stories except for that one right there.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm like Chad, because I'm old. I'm 46. So after the 13s, everything can burn to hell for me. You know what I mean? Like literally. Like I'm 1 through 13. But if I had to pick one pair, I mean, anything after 13, I despise. But I've never been a fan of the 2s, though. I've never been a fan of the 2s. Like, you know, like even in my collection, I have every 1 through 13 multiple pairs except the 2s. I just could never bang with the 2s like that. Like, I never liked the look of them. I don't like the way they look on my feet. I don't like how you could style them with any jeans. So the 2s would be my pair that I will probably pick after everything after post 13, after that.
So there's only one pair of 2s that I like, and I do agree with you. I didn't love the 2s at all. The black and infrared 2s I do bang with. Those are dope. Okay. Probably because of the colorway itself. But for me, and I know people are gonna, I'm not a huge fan of the Jordan 5s. I don't like them at all. I know, and I know it's an anomaly. People look at me like I'm crazy for that, but I just don't bang with them. I don't. Like I look at them and I'm like, because it's like I said, the 3s, and I know people consider like 3, 4s, and 5s like the holy grail of Jordans. You know what I mean? Those are the holy. But the 5s, I just never bang with. Like I go get some 6s. I love 6s. I love Bordeaux 7s. I love a lot of 7s. You know what I mean? But the 5s, there might be one pair of 5s that I like. It might be the Fresh Prince pair that came out. But other than that, like the black ones I don't bang with. The white ones I don't bang with. I know they came out with a like a North Carolina blue and white one that I just wasn't a fan. They never appealed to me at all, even when I was younger. You know what I mean? So I skipped right over them and went to the 6s.
Right. I think a lot of people look at the Holy Grail now as the 3s, the 4s, and the 6s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the 6s get more love.
More like the Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity. Trinity. Yeah.
I don't even use that terminology.
He doesn't like
that Holy Grail, all of that. Like, because if I can get it, it ain't no Holy Grail.
That's a fact.
Right.
And he gets it.
Yeah, and yeah, pretty much. If I want it, I'm gonna get it.
That's true. I agree with you. I think at a certain price point, it becomes a grail for me because it's like I could buy any record, you know what I mean? But you know, if I gotta spend $500, you know, for a record, it's like that shit is a grail because I don't know if I'm spending $500. It was funny because Alicia Keys was on something sneaker shopping with Complex, and she was saying something about how hard it was for her to get Swiss this like Team USA jumpsuit or something. And I'm like, y'all rich. Like, come on. Like, is it really like how hard? It's hard for regular folk to get stuff. Like, you know, but nah, I feel you on that. Yeah, what we got? What's the next question you got up?
Next question we're gonna roll with is a hoop question.
All right.
Chad, are you a Knicks fan? Were you a Knicks fan?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay.
He makes fun of me.
I'm proud to say no, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask Adina this question because she and I had talked about this briefly, and I was getting ready to jump off the ledge.
Hold on for a second, yeah. So Chad, what's your team?
Don't have one.
He is
okay.
But Chad is a hooper though. Listen, I don't want to get that misconstrued. Chad is a hooper, straight up and down, like high school, college, stamp.
Still
you know what I mean? Stamp.
That's why I can't be a fan of a team. Like the odds are I might know people on both teams that are friends.
Right.
Or he just doesn't want to torture himself, so he doesn't.
Yeah. I love basketball. So like, show me a good game, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm filled.
Yeah.
You know, it's that simple for me.
What were you gonna do?
So I'll ask Adina this question because she identifies with it. And Kill, this question has nothing pertaining to you, obviously, but there was a time where Adina and I were really close to leaving the Knicks and going to Brooklyn. So I wanted to know, scale of 1 to 10, how close were you?
I don't like to talk about that time in my life. It's really bad. Me and my family would like our privacy. Man, I was very, very. Funny thing is that I was in Atlanta when the Nets went to Brooklyn. So, you know, I stay repping my city. Like everywhere I go, everyone knows that I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn. I had, you know, the Nets. I had Brooklyn Nets gear. It was like Brooklyn. Anything that says Brooklyn on it, I'm gonna buy, right? And my family is. We were just talking, Kill, like South Portland, South
Right.
Elliott. That is 0.4 miles from the Barclays Center. I was like, this is me. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm not gonna lie, I was like a 7, y'all. It was a 7.
Wow.
It was tough, man.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Yeah, what Brooklyn Nets team is this? Like, give me a time of this. Is this when they first came? Is this the Kyrie Durant? Like, what Nets?
It's like Darren Williams, Joe Johnson.
Okay.
Right around that time, and then when they made the trade for KG.
Nets right now. Like at that point in time, they were the New Jersey Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
Yeah. At that time, I mean, honestly, I had hit Dino on the Facebook because I was having a really tough day going through it. Like, I can't believe this is going on right now. Like, and I hit Dino on Facebook. I was like, how close are you? I was like, I'm really close because I'm tired. And for me, my loyalty is so strong. I would say I was probably at like a 3 or 4 because I knew I can't shake it. You know what I mean? Like, there's been years where I've been done with the Knicks, like mid-year, February, March. You know what I mean? But as soon as off season hits, as soon as preseason starts, right around October, here I am on ESPN.com, looking at updates on practice, looking at what happened in training camp. You know what I mean? I can't shake it. I'm going on until the day I die. You know what I mean?
By the third win, or like when we get our first back-to-back, I was like, watch out, Eastern Conference, like we here.
Baby.
Listen,
who wants us in the first and second round?
When Brooklyn thought that they could possibly get LeBron.
Oh man, okay. Brooklyn or New York?
Brooklyn.
Okay.
New Jersey thought that they could get him also. They when they were coming to Brooklyn, that's how they were trying to sell their season tickets out of the Prudential Center. And so I almost, because before Barclays was even up, I was considering season tickets.
It was scary. It was scary. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's just like being born less than a mile from Barclays and where they're gonna play. And like it, I was here for all the marketing. The first home team in Brooklyn since the Dodgers, right? I was here for it. So here for it. But I think the New Yorker took over in me, and I was like, "Oh, that's the little brother." And they were bad when they first got here, and I was like, "Oh, that's still the New Jersey Nets." Like, "Oh, this is what it is." Like, I remember going to the Rock, and they couldn't give away tickets. Oh, that's still are. So, I was back over at MSG, drowning my sorrows in Cracker Jacks and hot dogs.
Yeah, man.
And it's so funny to me because I know I have so many people who are from Brooklyn, and when they came, I thought somebody, not one person, from Brooklyn even budged. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm talking 30, 40, 50 people, and I'm like, not one person is like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck with the Nets. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like the loyalty that Knicks fans have. I mean, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? Because it's like, and everybody from New York was like, it's like the Clippers. Like, it's like if you're from LA, like I only know one person from LA who's a Clipper fan, like one. You know what I mean? And it's like the same thing. At the Lakers, you got all the celebs. At fucking Clippers, you got Billy Crystal. Like, and Billy Crystal ain't been hot since I was like 10 years old, like in '84. So it literally felt like the same shift of like, we can't, like, I know I'm from Brooklyn, but like you said, I think the New Yorker and everybody took over, and that trumped, you know, being from Bed-Stuy, Crown House, Marcy, Coney, wherever you were from, it kind of trumped that, and it was like,
Yeah,
I can't.
and they tried to lure me with Jay-Z, and y'all knows what a
Oh,
Jay-Z.
listen.
They-
Adina is Jay-Z fan, like number one uno with a bullet. Like it's not a question who I know. She's
Like,
up there as far as Jay-Z fan.
driver's license, it says 550 State Street. Like,
Yeah.
you're
So tell me this. I know a lot of people, when y'all didn't get Durant and Irvin, a couple of people were really teetering on it. Did either one of y'all teeter? Because everybody thought that the Knicks were going to get Kevin Durant, you know.
Well,
And
that was the rumor, but I can take you back to tweets in January and February that year. I'm telling you, I was stating, hey, I'm not believing that guy's coming until I see him at a press conference with the Knicks logo behind him. One,
okay.
didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Two, and two, just to give you a dynamic of how the shit was working. Like free agency happens, like they take the referendum off of free agency. I'm sorry, the symposium off of free agency, and people could just talk. However, 10 minutes later, it was announced that KD and Kyrie had signed to the Nets, and I knew they weren't coming, and I was still like in pain. You know what I mean? Still hurt. But then
Right.
the next day, and this gave me a little gratification as to like why my fandom was valid. ESPN was doing a stand-up interview after they signed outside of Barclays Center,
Mhm.
and there was nobody there. There was nobody there. No fans, nobody. And I was thinking to myself,
disgusting.
if KD and Kyrie are signed to the Knicks, do you know how many people would be outside Madison Square Garden right now? It would be a riot. It'd be damn near a riot. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I'm still okay with my decision of staying with the Knicks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
So I brought this shoe out just because this is a symbol of the Knicks' pain. This is a Eddie Curry sample.
It's fucked up, man.
Eddie Curry.
You see, what size is it?
It's a size 16 or 17. Yeah,
Eddie
man.
Curry. I totally forgot all about Eddie Curry, man.
And
Here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing that I told all my Knicks fans. Y'all should be glad y'all didn't get KD and Kyrie. Like, they both had fucking cases. Like, I mean, look at the shit they're starting now. Kyrie, like, oh, we're all the head coach. Like, who does that? You know what I mean? Who just hires Steve Kerr?
But
I mean, not Steve Kerr, Steve Nash, and then turn around and be like, oh no, we're all the coach. Like any day, this nigga said John Vaughn could be the coach.
But like, sir, we know head cases. Like 30, the brawlers at 34th and 8th, 33rd and 8th. That's we know head cases. Like whatever, just give me hoopers. Just give me that.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like I still would rather have them than not have them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like. Yeah, because
I mean, you know, Kyrie's not going to play a whole season. We don't know what he's going to come back from.
That I know, but when we had Melo, because you got to understand, like between Melo, so between the times of like it was Stephon Marbury, then it was like a lull of just no talent in the building. It was David Lee and Nate Robinson, who were decent players, but like when we finally got a superstar, the way the city was buzzing, like. You can't recapture that with certain guys. You know what I mean? Like there's only certain people who can bring that type of buzz up. And it's like, I still want to be excited about being a Knicks fan. I still want to play important games in March and April, which I haven't done since Melo, since Melo left. So that's why it's like, yo, I would much rather have them than not. But they made the decision. Okay. I will say this, they better win or I'm clowning.
Yeah, but the fans gotta like relate with the players. That's really what I think it is more than anything. And like the Knicks got this like weird. It's weird because the players don't even really exist anymore. But like, there's this undertone with being a gritty player if you play for the Knicks. But like, where are the gritty players? Like, they aren't anymore. So like, I think this whole like things need to change. But again, their front office needs to change as well. And so like they got the right ideas with trying to like rebrand or whatever. I think they really need to do that. If they want to change how things are going, because otherwise they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, as long as Dolan is the president, do y'all feel like the Knicks can accomplish what you all want? Because I would assume the goal is to win a chip. So
I mean, it's up to Dolan. It's as simple as that. It's up to Dolan. If he wants to allow people to, you hire good people, you let them do their job. If he doesn't want to do that, then then to him, then it's about money. Like you can see that it's a profitable enterprise.
And I say no reluctantly, because here's the thing: like, he owns the Rangers too, and the Rangers were in the Stanley Cup Finals recently. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I know Dolan is he's a terrible owner, so to speak. But like, if you could just hire the right people, things could.
Or maybe,
at least,
or does he just fuck with hockey more than he fucks with basketball?
I don't think he doesn't know shit about sports. Period. I don't know if he knows anything, honestly. Like, but I feel like the Knicks for him was more of the draw. So I think he'd like to have more of a face, more of a control, more of a say in that, as opposed to, he probably has more advisors for the Rangers, more legitimate advisors for the Rangers than he does the Knicks. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For the Knicks, I think he's also, I mean, as stupid as the moves that he's made are, I think he yearns for, you know, a successful championship team. He just doesn't go. He doesn't have the foresight or the what's the word I'm looking for? The nuts to just let people do their job. You know what I mean? He's always got to be involved in some way, shape, or fashion.
You genuinely think he wants to win?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to win. I think I think as long as the Garden is selling out, I think he could care less.
And I don't disagree with that at all. But I also think that winning also would enhance the brand as well. So I do think because listen, yes, the seats are being filled because, you know, there's tourists and there's companies who buy out box seats and things like that. But nothing is going to, if you have that as well as a winning organization, sky's the limit. Like, what would anybody be able to say about the Knicks if you had those two entities? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know how much he wants to win, but I don't know if he wants to win bad. I know he wants to win. If that makes any sense.
I just think about,
I'll take that.
You know, if you're about money, and you're banking or having your seats filled, right, without winning, all you can see is the money to be made with winning. I mean, a lot of players come here for the money that is to be made. I mean, you could be, you know, the 6th, 7th, 8th man and still get hella endorsements and shit being here in New York. Mm-hmm. The streets are literally paved with gold and the opportunities are here. So it's like the opportunities that are already here for the Knicks when we're not winning. Imagine the city would be ours. Key to the city, key to the subway, key to the sewers, key to whatever we want is ours for the taking. I just think I've never seen another city besides probably like Philly that when your team is down, like, we are foot on necks. It's not like this rebuilding year. We're good. We're like foot on necks, fucking bums. And I think that is the tough part about the Knicks organization, where I don't think Rangers fans are going to do that to their team if they have a down year or 2 or 10.
Well, tell me this, because this is going to kind of feed into my hip hop question, but I'll hold it. But do you think players still want to come to the Knicks? Like, I feel like the Knicks, like, all right, we can talk about the hip hop later, but my question is going to be, what is something that's happening in hip hop right now that you thought would never happen? You know what I mean? Like, just eyes closed. And one of my things is, I never thought that New York would not be at the front of hip hop. You know what I mean? For being 46 years old, being there in the beginnings, everything. I never thought that New York, I mean, who is the New York MC right now? Like, who is the new, not Jay, not Nas, but where is the 2020, who's repping Queens? I
mean, I'm kind of mad he's dead, but Pop, like dead, but that was Pop Smoke. That was who it was supposed to be in my eyes.
I'm waiting for Bobby to get back.
Bobby
Shmurda. But I think in regards to, and those dudes are rap artists to me.
We could save the hip hop. But what I was just trying to say was that, like, I never thought that the Knicks, like, I don't know do people want to come to the Knicks? Like, what free agent right now is telling their agent, yo, get me to New York right now?
Well, I don't think that's been the case for a long time, because I said this from before. I know when Melo was there, the Knicks organization has got a bad rap because of, as Chad mentioned, because of Dolan. Like, you know, he doesn't really, nobody wants to deal with that, and they see it from the outside. Like, there's a lot of finicky stuff the Knicks do that is just like awful. Like, for instance, like, there's some media members who are not allowed to. I'm not sure if it's the Daily News or the Post that are not allowed to be at Knicks practices. I'm not sure. I think there's one of the
Berman's at the Post, right? Like, that's Berman at the Post.
Berman at the Post, but there's a couple guys in there that are not allowed. Yeah, they're not allowed to be here. So it's like Dolan has a lot of, like, personal grudges against people. And I'm sure that permeates, and these players talk, you know what I mean, about how they're treated in the organization. But I mean, from the outside looking in, people like, at least for Knicks players, they always say, "Oh, like, yeah, I love playing for the Knicks. It was a good organization." But like from the outside, it's like I'm sure LeBron is telling his younger players, like, "Yo, you don't want to go over there. You don't want to go over there," because they've heard things in the inner workings, being friends with Melo, and they probably heard things that go on in there that they're not too keen on and don't really agree with. So
I mean, with that, how do you change that? Because to me, that's almost just like a shorty who's a jump off. Like, and guys are like, "Yo, you don't want to fuck with her. She burning, or she a hoe." Like,
but somebody
how does she come back from that? How does she come back from being the jump off chick that you don't like?
So let me just say this: somebody always ends up with the jump off chick, though,
and she always ends up rebranding, right? Like, I'm sorry,
exactly.
But she'll rebrand. So now she's not wearing the Team Jordans or those. She's not. That wasn't.
Well, shit, it's taking the Knicks a long time to rebrand. Like, so how? I mean, shit, we out of college now. Like, you can't rebrand. Like, you like, well, I got my PhD. We left it's you tough. Back in undergrad. Like,
I think personally, with this particular regime that's in with the coaches and the GM and the front office, I think it's going to take a lot of inner working. Like, they have to draft well. They've got to, they've got to be competitive and not lose games by 20 and 30 points. Because the last 3 years, I mean, I went to a Knicks game on Christmas 2000, and obviously not this year, but Christmas of 2019. No, 2000 and 2019.
Well, you know what? You came through the crib. You came through the crib after the Knicks game. That
time. I did, and it was like, this is losing. You know what I mean? And it has to be built. They have to build a team within their draft. If they draft well and get these little guys to be competitive, and if they're competitive for 2 years where they start to make actual strides, then maybe you'll start to see a free agent decide to take a chance. Like, you know what? I might go over there because I like what's going on over there. But until we see that happen, like I said, you got to play important games in March and April. That's really that's just what it comes down to. Like, you got to be competitive. When the Garden is rocking and when they're playing for playoff spots or playing to get seeding in the playoffs, there is no place on earth like Madison Square Garden. And this is not even being biased. I'm telling you, I've been in the building. It is different from any other place I've been to. I've been to playoff games in Philly. I've been to playoff games in Boston. I've been to playoff games in DC. I've been to a lot of arenas. I've been to Atlanta. There is nothing like an intense game in March and April in New York City in the Garden. I'm telling you, it's really astonishing. So we'll see what happens, though.
That is words. That is words.
Mm-hmm. My question: I'm a Sixers fan. I'm glad we didn't hire Mike D'Antoni. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when he became the front runner, I was like, you don't care about winning a chip. You care about excitement. You want that buzz because that 7 seconds or less shit ain't gonna work in Philly. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have a Steve Nash. We don't have that. So we hired Doc Rivers. Let me ask you all this. I've seen the rumors that Doc would like to, and these are just rumors. I want to know what y'all think about this. Number one, if you had to trade Embiid or Simmons, who would it be? That's the first question. And then two, I'm seeing rumors Doc want to trade Ben Simmons to Minnesota for the number 1 draft pick to take
LaMelo Ball.
Take the ball kid. Would you do that trade?
So it's a 2 question.
So it's 2-part question. So if you had to trade one, because my belief is Embiid and Ben can't play together. You know what I mean? When Ben has his monster games, it's always when Embiid is out. You know what I mean? I just don't think they work well on the floor together. People have been saying, "Kill, come on, give him a chance." Shit, it's been 4 years. I don't know. I'm getting old, nigga. I don't got a lot of time left. So my chances ain't 23, give him a chance. This is 46, give him a chance. Like, I would like to take my daughter to a chip game in Philly before she graduates college. So who would you trade? And then if you're Doc Rivers, do you trade Ben Simmons for the number 1 pick to take the ball kid?
Here's the thing about that, because it's a crazy question, because I think Joel's the more talented guy, right? Which is crazy to me. I think he's the more talented guy, but I think you would get more for Ben Simmons, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like, Ben Simmons, he's still a work in progress. He's younger. At the very least, he's going to work hard and stay in shape. We know Embiid is lazy. His eating habits are bad. Those type of things. If I had to, like, gun to my head, I think I said Embiid earlier in the year, but I think I would trade Simmons because I think you can get more from him. You could probably get some shooters. And for what it's worth, the one thing about Ben Simmons that's underrated is his defense. He can defend 1 through 5, and his arms are long, and he's all over the court, passing lanes and he defends. But you can get a good point guard and some shooters for Ben Simmons. I'm not sure if you decide to give up Embiid that you're going to be able to get all of that, and that's just my thoughts on it.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, who am I trading first? If I'm the Sixers, I probably want to trade Joel Embiid. I know that you're saying you're going to probably get more, but the truth is, like, you don't know which version of Joel Embiid you're going to get on that. And that's kind of hard when you're trying to plan for a championship. So, like, I don't know. Like, really, a lot of the ingredients that it takes to make a good team have to do with their synergy as far as how hard they're going to play. And so if you got guys who are going to pout and have attitudes and be prima donnas, that stops, a lot of that. So, I mean, that's just me as a ball player, like the guy who thought he was an individual and not a team player was the guy who was the cog and like the stop everything. So, that's kind of how it was for me. Like, because talent is great, but like hard work beats talent all the time. Like, I kind of point back to that Detroit Pistons team, like 04-05. Like, they weren't as a lot of the guys, but the way that they executed, like, it was like a well-oiled machine, the way that they ran that offense and defense. So, I mean, and it's a rubber band. So if you're not pulling for your guys, when you think about it, like, if there's 4 guys out there working really hard and you got a guy who's not willing to work hard for the other 4 guys, you got to really check that guy's mentality. Like, what are you thinking about when you play? What do you have against these guys that you don't want to give it everything you got when they're going to give it everything they got for you?
True statement.
What do you think, Adina?
It's funny because, like, as you were speaking, you were just like changing my mind, and I was like, maybe we'll, and like completely valid points. I would probably trade Ben. Only reason why, but like trade him, but the pieces you get have to be there to wrangle Joel, right? Like, you don't know what Joel you're gonna get on each night, and I feel like he's the type of player that you can build a franchise around, but as long as you can temper who he is and his bad habits, and maybe that's like getting a vet to come in, right, and like being there to almost put a saddle on him. I hate to say that, right? Like to train him and to make him into the ball player that we know he could be. So that's why I say Simmons. But this idea of the ball kid, I'm good, right? Like, I think it's funny because Chad and I met on draft night 2013, right? Because I get the around Anthony. Anthony Bennett was the #1 pick. But one thing I remember talking about was potential, right? And I think everyone has potential. I have potential. You have potential to be president of the United States, to be whatever you want. And to me, that's just what draft picks are. And I'm not about the ball is not first team, risk it all, or anything. And so in my first year in Philly, I'm not doing that if I'm Doc.
Okay. I think for me, I'm sorry. What were you going to say, Chad?
Yeah, I just want to, like, Jimmy was there and couldn't get Joel to do that. So who is it going to be in the league? If it is Jimmy?
That's a fact. And listen, and Jimmy has proven, and listen, for me, Jimmy was good in my book the day he went into Minnesota's practice and said, I'll take the 4 worst guys in here and beat all of y'all in practice.
And they did. Yeah.
From that day on, I had nothing bad to say about Jimmy Butler. His character showed through and through. Even in that series, there's the series in I think you guys are playing the Raptors again, Toronto. When he had him mic'd up, he's telling Joel, shoot the ball. Like, he clearly was the leader of that team. You know what I mean? And he had just come in. He had no tenure there. You know what I mean? He came in and took over leadership duties as he did. So it's an interesting point that you make, that if Jimmy couldn't get Joel to do it, and maybe Joel seeing Jimmy doing what he's doing now might help him take it to the next level. Because
like, man, I should have listened. But like, yeah,
I should have listened.
I could have been in the bubble too, with big face coffee.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you about hard work, right? Like guys who don't work hard don't know what hard work is.
Fact. That's a fact.
So how are you gonna? You can't just turn it around because you see somebody else do it. If somebody doesn't show you what that is, you don't know what it is. You think you working hard.
Right.
That's a word.
It's funny because here's the wild part. I trade both of them motherfuckers. I start all the fuck over again. And Chad, the point that you brought up with Jimmy, I tell people all the time, yo, Jimmy went to Minnesota and was supposed to be with the next two the next two pieces. You know, Karl Anthony Towns was supposed to be the next big man. You know, Andrew Wiggins was supposed to be the next, you know, big small forward. He got there and he saw this ain't it. And he left. And then he came to Philly. And he had another big two. Supposedly Embiid is supposed to be the next big man here. You know, Ben Simmons is supposed to be the next big point guard. As soon as he wanted to leave, I was like, this shit ain't working. Because he came and literally saw. The joke we used to have in Philly is that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are really Michael Carter Williams and fucking Nerlens Noel. Like, that's who they basically are. Yeah, I mean, it was like they had the split screen and y'all thought y'all had this. No, nigga, y'all really got these two, you know? Because I remember Michael Carter Williams, same thing as Ben Simmons. Tall point guard, can't shoot. Again, I would trade both of them. Chad, great point about Jimmy Butler. When Jimmy left, I was like, this ain't it. Like, this ain't it. It could be the coach. It could be both these players. Chad, you said you don't know what Embiid you're getting. I agree 100%, but I also don't know what Ben Simmons I'm getting. Because, see, there's some of Ben Simmons where you got these videos of him looking like Klay Thompson playing 35 and older ball at the Y, dropping threes left and right. Then you get regular Ben Simmons who won't shoot a three.
Yeah.
At all. And I'm like, bro, what happened? You over the summer, you coming down court, draining them like you Klay. And then you have the playoff Ben Simmons who just plays defense. And that's it. So I don't know what Ben I'm getting, and I'm a huge Maya Angelou fan. When people show you who they are, believe them. Stop trying to change people. Ben don't want to shoot. He don't want to shoot. I don't know if somebody clowned him. I don't know what happened in his childhood. He has the same offensive game since he was at LSU 6 years ago. He has the same agent as LeBron. There's nobody in your squad. Forget the coach. You a grown ass man. Where's your responsibility? Then he's like, oh, I'm a hire shooting coach. It's my brother. Wait, I'm sorry. Your brother's a shooting coach, but he hasn't been working. Can somebody hire me to do PR? Because y'all niggas just sound stupid as fuck. Like, what do you mean you're hiring your brother to be your shooting coach? He's a shooting coach and he hasn't helped you all. Your father was a professor. It just looks horrible across the board. And it's just like, yo, he obviously, the coach said, yo, Brett Brown put it in the newspaper. I want you taking a three every game. And he would not do it. Like, there's no accountability there.
I think he needs a therapist, to be honest. I don't think it has anything to do with his performance. I think it has to just he's too much in his head. Because it got talent, like especially if you can see them videos there, he's just afraid. Like sometimes people just have that, you know, and he might be able to get past that, he might not. That's really on him. But you know, he
needs Paul George therapist.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's the thing, and I agree wholeheartedly with you. Here's the wild part. I would take the LaMelo trade. I would do it just for the fuck of it, because it's just like, we got nothing else. I've never been a huge Doc Rivers fan. I think he's an okay coach. He's like a 3-mic coach to me. I do everything on the Source 5-mic scale, so he's a 3-mic coach to me. You know, if we're being honest, the year he won the chip in Boston, he could have been fired the year before because he really was stinking it up. You know what I mean? So he has the chip, but I've never been sold on Doc. I'll take him because he's better than D'Antoni, but I don't see Doc bringing out the best of either of these players, because Ben is the dude. I compare him to, like, you know, I do marriage coaching, spouse or husband. You need your husband to get a job. That's the number one thing you need him to do. And he's doing everything else but getting the job. He's straightening up the house. He's taking care of the kids. The car got the oil change. He done fixed the garage door opener. He's doing everything but what you need him to do. And it's like, yo, this is fucking great, baby. I love you. Where's the job? We need the money. And it's like, that's Ben. Ben is like, look, I'm all team defense. I'm over here. I do this. That's great, nigga. We need you to make jump shots. I don't even want you to take threes. I don't need you to take threes. Just be able to keep a defense honest. And it's like, you're doing everything else to look great, but what we need you to do. I'll take free throws over that because it's to the point that you can't put the ball in his hands in late game situations because he's like Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
So I would trade both of them. I would go with Ball just for the hell of it to shake it up. I know nobody else is going to be with me on that. And everybody in Philly is still, every year, it's like, hey, Kill, just give him one more year. What's one more year going to do? What's it going to do? He obviously does not want to take these shots in the game. I mean, it's easy as shit to take the shots during the summer.
Yo, you'd be surprised, man, how mental some of that stuff is. Like sometimes those guys and the way that they talk to the guys, like I don't know, like every player can't take the same type of criticisms.
Yeah.
So
No,
maybe
I totally agree. I mean, I saw it with Nick Anderson. After the missed free throws in Orlando, his career was basically a shell of himself.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, like I just, it's a trust thing with him. They gotta let him just let it fly. Like I mean, with me, they ain't never had to tell me that.
They never have to say shoot the
They
ball.
never had to tell me to shoot the ball
No.
because I don't know if I knew how to keep it in my hand.
And that's
Right.
yo, listen, I'm the same. Like, I have a coach used to say, "Yao ain't never made a shot he don't like." That's a fact, Jack. I like to shoot. When I get that ball, I want to shoot the pill. You know what I mean? I want to shoot that thing, and I feel like I can make it every single time. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that you also have to have the confidence in that you're gonna make the shot. Like Chad was saying, like, and I'm sure Chad went through this. Like, I'm sure Chad gets the ball and he sees the defender. He's like, "You can't guard me. I'm shooting this ball in your face. There's nothing you can do about it." That's how there's a certain mindset you have to shoot the ball as well. And like you said, but for Ben, it doesn't have to be 3-pointers.
Yeah, I don't need the three. I don't need you to be that.
They're backing up off you. I remember when LeBron first got to the Lakers, there was a scene of him, Ben bringing the ball up from full court, and LeBron at the other free throw line waiting for him. Like,
Yeah. Well,
there was a meme when COVID first started, and it was like, if you want to know what social distancing is, guard Ben Simmons. There's social distancing. That's your social distancing. That's how you can tell 6 feet apart. Just look at anybody guarding Ben Simmons. Like,
it's really simple, right? Like when you're working out, and I hate to make it like this, but like you see the way that people work on their game in the off season, right? And there's guys, like, even when you get to see it like online, there's guys that catch the ball, take 2 dribbles, take a spin around, shoot a jump shot, fade off 1 foot, all nonchalant and shit like that. And then there's the guys who take it at game, who are like already have their bent knees, shooting, breaking a sweat, like really with nobody on there, right? Those are the guys that hit that shot when the game is on the line.
Yeah.
The guys who are flirting around and taking those little funny style shots and not shooting 1,000 of them joints every day, those are the guys who are thinking about whether or not they're going to hit that shot. But the guy who put the work in, he ain't thinking about whether or not that shot's going to go in, because he put the work in and he knows that shot's going to go in. So it's not even a fact of, like, that's why it's so mental for him. Like, it's like, if you put in that work, you believe that shot's going in. It's every that time. Simple. Like, that's how you build the confidence, by seeing the basketball going in that many times out of your hands.
Like, you're actually shocked when it doesn't go in.
Yeah,
right?
like that's what,
like when it goes in. I mean, I think that's the stern faces we get from the Lillards of the world, and everybody's like,
that's what it's supposed to
that's what it's supposed to be. Y'all are all shocked and surprised.
They talk about the average professional player being able to hit 8 out of 10 wide open shots. You think about that. That's 80% wide open. Like, that's because of the work that they and we talking about, that's the scrubs. That's the scrubs.
Yeah, I remember when I was at NBA TV, Robert Horry came in one day to like be on set, and we had an actual hoop on set, whatever. And he's Big Shot Bob, so this is like when social media first started. So I had like a little flip cam, and I was like, "Yo, let's pretend you're hitting a buzzer beater and like shoot it here in the studio." And we had to shoot it 4 times. He missed 4 times, and then the 5th time he made it. And I was like, "Bob, what happened? Like, this is what you do? We're in a studio." And he looked at me and said, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "You missed 4 shots." He was like, "No, I don't know what you mean." I was like, "Dude," he said, "I never remember the shots that I missed." He was like, "That's how I do it." He said, "I just move forward, and in my mind, I've made every shot that I've ever taken." This is a metaphor for life. This is
definitely.
No, I mean, and it's dope. And I think that's the problem, is that I don't think Ben wants to work on that. So what Ben does is everything else but that. And it's like, bro, it's 2000. You can't be, 2020. You can't be a point guard and not shoot the rock. You can't. Like, maybe if this was 93, that shit would work. You know what I mean? But right now, as a point, you can't do it. I mean, even last year in the playoffs, it's simple. Who was on the podium every night talking? Jimmy and Embiid. Ben was nowhere to be found all those playoffs. Everybody like, Kill, y'all good. Y'all can run it back. Y'all was a bounce away from the playoffs. Yeah, because we had Jimmy Butler. Y'all leaving out a big point of somebody who left. Like, yeah, we were one bounce away with Jimmy Butler. We don't got Jimmy Butler. We don't got JJ Redick, and we got Al Horford. Like, nigga.
Let me ask you a question. Have you heard that, and maybe you could dispel this rumor since you're from Philly, that no one on the Sixers staff can call Doc Rivers Doc because there's only one Doc in Philly, and it's Dr. J. I read that and I was like, this could be a problem. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything like that. I mean, I doubt anybody tries to take it that. Here's the part. I don't even know Doc Rivers' real name. So I mean,
it's Glenn. Glenn Dr.
Okay.
I almost forgot until I read that article. I was like, oh, Glenn is his name. Yeah, it's always
so I haven't heard that, but yeah, it's funny because I just realized the other day how he got the name Doc. He was wearing a Dr. J t-shirt all the time, like back when he first started, and they started calling him Doc, and it just stuck. But nah, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Because I mean, we're a travesty waiting to happen. Like everybody, like, who you want to coach? Whoever can do an exorcism, because there's a lot of demons in that locker room. So we need. I hope Doc Rivers knows how to do some exercising, because it's a lot of shit that's up in there. Tobias, we done gave this nigga the Ben Franklin Bridge, the Walt Whitman Bridge, the Liberty Bell, and this nigga ain't do shit for us in the playoffs. So
those two contracts with Horford and Tobias are pretty bad. Looking back, and you could have easily just. I mean, I know the problem with I think they wanted Jimmy to commit immediately, and Jimmy was like, I think they heard the rumor I heard was they wanted Jimmy to sign right away without going to see any other teams if they were going to offer him. He was like, that's just not smart as a human being. You know what I mean? Right. Like you want to go, you need to go check your options. When I'm at the restaurant, I like to look at the entire menu. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with Philly. Should be interesting next season. Without
and the wild part is my young boy was like, Kill, you cursed, right? And I was like, what you talking about? He was like, the basketball guys. He was like, all that tanking shit, basketball guys don't like that. And I'm like, well, fuck, yo. He was like, yo, Markelle Fultz, draft him #1, forgets how to shoot. Where that happened at? There has to be a 30 for 30 on that one day. We'll probably get a 30-30 for Ben for the same goddamn reason. Like, now he's another #1 guard who doesn't want to shoot. And B can't last you 30 games a year. Nigga, you're cursed. So at least I'm like, yo, with the Redskins, people who living in D.C., they're like, yo, the Redskins cursed, racist name. At least they know if they change the name, the curse is over. Like, I'm like, well, when is our curse gets lifted? Like, how many? And he's like, well, how many years did y'all tank? I'm like, fuck, so I'm going to be here for a while, huh? So
the indigenous community is not lifting that curse for a minute. So
yeah. The Washington football team is not going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah. What's your hip hop question, good brother?
So it could be hip hop. It could be my hip hop is more R&B based, but
then I'm
hip hop as well.
Like,
well, listen, it's gonna fall in line. So here's the thing. So we're all married. I think we all like. I think one thing about marriage, in order for a marriage to work, and I feel like part of a marriage working and part of a black marriage working as well is there's got to be similar taste in music. I think. I truly believe that. So I was asking now that we have a husband and wife on the panel. Do you guys have hip hop arguments, and what is the biggest hip hop argument you guys have in the house?
Oh, that's
good question. Yeah, good question.
I know one off top is Chad thinks Lil Wayne is trash and like doesn't like any Lil Wayne albums, and it's just like, why does this motherfucker even exist? And like, which Carter is it? You just think he's trash, and I don't understand why. Like,
I'm sorry. Like when I hear lyrics, like I catch up like I'm mustard. Like I can't.
He's got a few of those. He's definitely got a few of those. No question.
Another food lyric, like real G's moving sounds like lasagna. Like he got food bars.
Great.
So,
great. I'll pass on the lasagna.
He's
like,
great.
I
was playing the other day the one, hey, Mr. Carter, where you been or whatever.
Yeah.
And he like had never heard that whole album. He was like, I quit on Lil Wayne by then and I'm done. So I think that is one argument I can remember off top. I'm sure there's more, but
it for me it's a time gap thing because I'm 7 years Adina's senior. So a lot of the music that I'm into, some of it like Adina's like, Who the hell is that? What is that? You know?
He'd be like, yo, this Kumo D that I copped at Tower Records. I'm like, how old are you again?
Yo, she said Tower Records.
I don't know.
And Kumo D, like two different time frames right there.
It was, but
But Tower Records was popping though. Tower Records was popping. You could come up with Tower Records, definitely.
yo, Virgin Megastore. The
course.
Virgin Megastore was like a field trip. My mom would like
course.
drop it off in Times Square and just be like, "Don't fuck anything up and don't steal." And you go to the Virgin Megastore, have your little gate with the headphones on. You be there too. You like listen to the top tens.
Tower expensive. The Wiz had them.
The Wiz too.
The Wiz or B Street in downtown Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, sales. $6.98 on Tuesdays.
But
For that.
tell them how you used to make tapes and take the change out.
Oh yeah, in my high school, man, I used to stand by the soda machine like a grub and ask for the change, right? And then I would get the change and buy the tapes at the Wiz and make the new albums and sell them for like $3. I thought I would come up with the money for the shoes.
Yeah,
that's what's up. That's crazy. That's the hustle.
That's a hell of a hustle. For me, one thing I always Daisy doesn't really love when I play Outkast in the house, and I don't understand it. She doesn't love it. But our argument of late has been who is it? Her, the artist Her.
Yes.
Right.
And SZA. Right. And I like Her better than SZA, but she's like, no, SZA's dope. SZA's doper than Her. Whatever the case may be. And I'm just like, I'm trying to tell her like no, but as she's not here, but SZA's dope. I'll give it a just due. I'll give it a just due, no question. I definitely fuck with SZA's music much more now that I've had time to sit with it. But like, I didn't love it at first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
okay,
it wasn't. It's like I heard her and wasn't fucking with her, and then I saw her on as like a gubball thing or something. Mm-hmm. And I've seen her live. I was like, oh, I fuck with her though.
Yeah, definitely. So there's that. Kill. Let me stop. So Kill, you got to see. There's a video of Kill and his wife having a dance battle in the kitchen that went viral. Hey, bruh, that shit is gold. Came up.
I killed it.
Killed it.
And here's the wild part, y'all. I got fucking fibromyalgia, which is like a horrible disease of being in pain. Okay. And I did a split and came up all in fluidly. So I thought I wasn't just on that.
And then pointed her face like in here. Smooth.
Yeah. Me and T don't really argue hip hop. It's she thinks Sade is whack. That's like our
SDE.
Yes. She's like, yo,
Kiss
she's trash. Huh?
Kiss of Life? You gave me what?
She hates Sade. And I was like, yo, I don't even know if I can fucking marry you. Like, yo, what do you mean you hate?
Is after marriage or like before?
This is before.
Wow, you must love her.
Yeah. Because it's literally like, that's our biggest argument. But it's not even an argument because to me, I'm at 46, I'm very goal oriented. If you're not changing your mind, then why waste the time? Like at 46, it's like, yo, Kill, 8 + 8 is 15. You're right. I'm not even you win. I don't, again, time is ticking. I don't got time to argue. I
personally don't think we spent enough time on Chad saying Lil Wayne is trash. Like just
so let me say this, and it's definitely an error thing. Because I don't think Kill doesn't bang with Lil Wayne. Kill doesn't bang with Lil Wayne either.
I don't think Lil Wayne is trash. When I hear his features on other people's stuff, I like him.
Okay.
But I'm old. I remember Lil Wayne when he was Hot Boy Lil Wayne, when he was 15, and that music was trash to me. So to me, I didn't see the growth. There's this huge phenomenon now that social media is happening, that everybody loved the South back in the 90s. And that's not bullshit. You know what I mean? People who I was at Morgan State from 92 to 96. And there are now people who are trying to tell me who went to school with me, like, nah, nigga, we like Master P. No, we didn't. Like, I don't know what this phenomenon is, this Men in Black moment y'all are having, where y'all are trying to rewrite history because it's cool now. Y'all was not fucking with Master P. Y'all was not messing with Lil Wayne. So for me, I just never really saw that. I listened to the Carter 2. Is that the one where he's on the cover with the Wraith in his red?
Yeah. All right. It's black and white with the red lettering. Yeah.
Right. My homegirl challenged me to listen to that. The album was cool. I'm not mad at it. Because one thing I won't do is I won't speak on an artist who I've never heard a whole album from. You know, so I can't say he's trash because prior to that, I had never heard a whole Lil Wayne album. So it's like, I don't want to say I don't like the way, I don't know, fucking something tastes if I've never tasted it before. So I've never been a fan of Lil Wayne, but when I heard the card, I was like, yo, I can't say he's trash because the album isn't bad. Will I go back and listen to it again? Probably not, but it's not as bad as what I thought it was. So I won't say I think Wayne is trash. I'll just say I'm not a fan of Wayne. So I compare everything to food. Something doesn't have to be your favorite in order for you to be like, yo, it's cool, but I'm not going to order it on my burger. Like mushrooms are cool, but I'm not ordering it when I go to Five Guys to get it. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at Lil Wayne. He's a mushroom. Like he's cool, but I'm not going to order him when I go to Five Guys. Do you want mushrooms? Nah, I'm good. You know, so that's Wayne for me. He's not something that is like I'm disgusted by. Like, no, I can't eat mayonnaise on my burger or something like that.
So just to get some juxtaposition to this, because I feel like I'm the bridge between
both worlds,
the two eras. See Carter 2, like Kill mentioned, that's actually my favorite Lil Wayne album. I actually think it's his best album, and I think lyrically he was at that time. I can honestly say with a straight face that nobody was rapping better than Lil Wayne at that time.
Pause right there for a second. Yeah, let me ask you this: is this when Gilly was writing his rhymes or not?
See, that's another. Like, and you got to add to the fact that, and yes, that was the rumors. That was when the rumors first.
Well,
started.
I'm just, and I wasn't saying that as a shot. No, I was just saying it like because you were saying his bars went up. So I'm like, well, did his bars go up or did Gilly's bars go up?
So look, that was the rumor that was going on right after that album came out. So I'll give you that most definitely. So there could be some truth to that. It could be a connection there as well. What I will say is this: because he was rapping so much. And because he was on everything, and he's actually kind of the guy who kind of ruined the game a little bit because he was putting out multiple projects per year, and it was kind of like putting the pressure for people on to put projects out as opposed to letting people get a chance to like not hear you and rest and giving yourself a chance to grow. He wasn't giving himself the chance to grow, and with that comes redundancy and whack lines because after that you start to hear a lot of like recycled lines and just terrible lines from Lil Wayne. After this era, so we're talking about Carter 2 comes out I think 2005 I believe. So we're talking like I'm 07, 08 is when Wayne kind of started like to fall off to me, and that's probably the era that Chad is talking about where it's just like you're hearing these just terrible. Like he had one line where it was like, it was on Kanye's album where he said, "I'm so fucking good like I'm sleeping with Megan," and I'm like, that's a terrible bar. That's an absolute terror. That's a terrible bar. You know what I mean?
Where he was on the cover, he was the baby with like all the tattoos on his face. Which one was that?
That's Carter 3.
I think that's when once again, it's like an era in my life where I was like, this is when obviously I was Hot Boy Lil Wayne too, but I was like, this is the album I'm fucking with. And I remember I tried to play that album in the house one Sunday cleaning the house, and Chad was like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. Didn't know any of the songs in there. So I think that's what happened. Like 2 happened and Chad was like, no more. And then I jumped on 3.
The thing is this, right? Like I like hip hop, right? And the era of hip hop that I came with, like the bars.
Guys, how old are you?
I'm 42.
Right.
So
I'm 35.
Not quite as old as you, but you know, I'm up there too. And so the music that I listened to, it made me think, it made me feel something, you know, and it was really cerebral for me. And so if the music doesn't hit me in that same way, like okay, you got a beat that makes me want to dance or something like that or move, that's something else. But but hip hop, it makes me want to use my mind. And so if I feel dumb when I'm hearing your music, I don't want to hear your music.
And listen, and to his credit, there are a lot of Lil Wayne songs and lines that will make you be like, "Is this nigga dumb?" You would literally say, "Like, this is the dumbass line."
I don't think that he's dumb, but the thing is, when I'm listening to it, I feel dumb. Okay,
I feel you.
I don't like that feeling. It's almost
like it's like saying like it's almost like watching a dumb movie.
Yeah. Yo, you look at
like a bad movie. Like
what the fuck am I doing here? And like, why am I like? What am I like? You guys start questioning. I watch dumbass movies.
Thank you, especially when he's. So I was like, don't get him started on that. But
I watch dumb movies. But sometimes I gotta question myself, like, yo, what am I like, why? Sometimes I gotta shut up, like, yo, let me stop watching this dumb shit, you know, because like that's really what it is. Like, it's almost like I want to say it to you like this, like, yo, when you first heard Das Effects, you thought that shit was hot, but if you ever heard it again, you're like, what the fuck is this stupid shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like it's a time-based thing. So once your mind gets past a certain thing, it's just like, yo, I can't. Like, don't feed me this nursery school shit when I'm trying to get something a little bit more that has some more nutrition.
Some of us just want to
value.
Some of us just want to shake our ass and party in the car. So sorry.
I tell people like this all the time with hip hop. Every now and then I want a Big Mac. I know it's not good for you. I know it's not great. Every now and then I get a taste for the Big Mac and some McDonald's fries. You know what I mean? Am I going to eat it every? No. You know, this may come once every 2-3 months. But every now and then you want that. But I totally understand exactly what you're saying. That's funny with Wayne, because it's so funny because that's a time in hip hop where so many people disagree. You know what I mean? Because it's like you have some people who love Wayne, you have some people who literally, like you said, Chad, think he's trash. You know what I mean? And it's like somebody asked me on Twitter the other day. They was like, "Kill, who had the biggest like home? Not homecoming. What's the word? Like the biggest." Debut, was it Snoop, 50, or Jeezy? And I was like, well, it really comes down to your age, because I'm gonna say Snoop, because when Doggy Style came out, like that was like the most anticipated album in hip hop at that moment that actually came out. Like, this ain't Detox or waiting 12 years for Jay Electronica. It was like, we're waiting for this, and it actually came out. And he was like, yeah, Kill, well, I was born in 95, so I'm gonna say 50. And I'm like, well, nigga, I was born in 74. Like, I of course you're gonna say 50, because you weren't there at that time. So hip hop is now grown and it's so old that, you know, you have, you know, different people, you know, all talking about hip hop, you know, and I think that's what's crazy with social media, because we're all in the mall at the same time, you know, and I use that because the Hood Mall in Philly I used to work at, you know, it opened at 10, from 10 to 4 was families and little kids, you know, around 4 o'clock, the middle school kids came out. So from like 5 to like 7, 8, they did their thing. And then around 8, me and my friends came out, go to the movies, smoking weed, shooting dice. We never interacted with the other people. I never had to worry about running into my little sister who's 5 years younger than me at the mall, because we came at 2 totally different times. You know, now with social media, we're all at the mall together. We're all here together, and everybody's like, I know my shit, and I know my shit, and everybody knows that. And that's why it's just so crazy, because it really does come down to age.
And I think it also comes down to geographic location, because like really like yo, there's certain people that listen to certain kinds of music depending on where you live. Like straight up and down. Like I'm coming out of New York. There's a certain type of music that I gravitate towards. I'm not saying I don't like other types of music and that I won't go outside of that box, but what I'm used to, there is a very clear, you know, a commonality to the type of music that I like, you know, like whereas suppose somebody who's down south, that Southern music might be what it is for them. Like that might be die for them. Or in Cali, like arguing with somebody about Snoop, like when I was playing basketball over there and we would meet some of the guys from Cali, it was like they would ask us about this East Coast, West Coast beef, and it's like, man, we ain't even thinking about y'all. Like we're like that was really a thing. Like, it ain't a thing. We ain't thinking about, you know, people in New York ain't even never gonna get out to California, most of us. So why are we thinking about them?
I remember I went to school in LA at USC, and I don't know what happened, but I just decided one morning. Oh, I know what it was. It was that night when they played Hyphy in the arena, and Damian Lillard started going Hyphy at the game. And I was like, Chad, you know about Hyphy, right? And he was like, nah, I had to shut it down. I was like, so the whole morning it was like, Keep the Sneak, E40, yada me, yada I'm saying, like, we have all my people from school. And I was like, this is my shit. And like, I'm born and raised in New York, but being out there, that whole Hyphy movement and being there for it was nothing like it. Nothing like it.
And like that Oakland music, like I know who E40 is.
He thought E40 was a joke.
And I know who they are, but like generally speaking, like I do not like E40's music. I don't like I just don't. Like that's just
it's an acquired taste. It's definitely an acquired taste.
You know
what I mean? Like
I respect it. You know what I'm saying? If I went there, like being part of the culture and experiencing that, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
But like you ask me what I want to hear in my whip, it will never be that.
Gotcha.
Nah, I mean, like you said, it's all regional. Like I always tell people, I don't have no cousins from out Houston who was playing me chopped and screwed tapes. I don't have any of that. So, you know, like you said, without you being there, and when you are there, I lived in Atlanta in '97 when AT Aliens came out. Nothing like it. It's nothing like being, like you were just saying about the whole hyphy thing and being out in Cali. That's all you heard in Atlanta in '97 was AT Aliens. Like that was it. And having to be there and like, yeah, you're talking about the energy of the garden. Like that's what it was like being in Atlanta with Outkast's sophomore album, you know. So I definitely feel that. Y'all know my question. What is something you never thought would happen in hip hop, but it's currently happening? Different examples. You're an MC. I never thought in a million years everybody would want drumless beats. You know what I mean? But right now, everybody is because in 2011, I was working with my man K Fanatt, and we were gonna put out an EP before the album. We was gonna let the EP go for free, charge for the album. And I'm like, well, if we give this shit away for free, nigga, I ain't programming drums. I'm just looping up shit. You just gonna rhyme over it. And MCs was like, nah, that's whack. You ain't, where the drums at? Where the drums at? And like now, like everybody has no drums. I never thought that would happen to hip hop. I never thought Flea Lord. There's this MC who put out an album every month. He's going for 12 albums in 1 year. And I'm like, I never thought there'd be a time there'd be 12 albums like that. And like I asked earlier, I never thought New York would not be at the forefront. And I'll say this, of boom bap hip hop. You know, I can't say I was a fan of Pop Smoke. And so after he passed, my daughter was teaching me about him and everything like that. But I mean boom bap. Like I'm talking, where's the MC representing boom bap hip hop from Queens or from Brooklyn or from the Bronx or from Long Island, like from Shaolin? Like Conway said it, we the hardest niggas out and we ain't from a borough. Like Buffalo is running New York right now. Syracuse is running New York. I never thought I would see a day when New York wasn't at the forefront of hip hop. So what are some of the things that you guys thought you would never see in hip hop or R&B or any kind of music that, you know, wouldn't be the way it is right now?
I think you nailed it. You nailed it for me, honestly. I never thought, and maybe when I was younger, I was probably a little naive, but I never thought there wouldn't be at least one New York artist at the very forefront of hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of, even when Pop Smoke was out, he was a star, but he still wasn't that. He still wasn't that.
I said Cardi Barty.
Cardi. And I love Cardi. I love Cardi, but I don't count her as like a New York MC per se. You know what I mean? Like, but I never thought there'd be a time where there wasn't, like, if you could think, like, who is the biggest New York artist over the last 10 years other than Cardi and Pop? You know what I mean?
Just selling Cardi short because she's a woman with a fat ass.
No, like, it's not that. For me, listen, I want to be very clear, because y'all see me on Twitter.
Yeah, you love Cardi.
I love Cardi B. I'm the one who told everybody, like, yo,
you did.
She got a joint, and this shit is slapping, no question. You know what I mean? But like, I just never thought that. And you know, if we're gonna count Cardi, we'll count Cardi. But I'm not sure if she has like this. I'm not sure if I would imagine there was gonna be like a next guy, like a somebody like in the vein of a Jay-Z. Like I thought Saigon would be that guy. I even thought Fab might be that guy. But Fab never delivered an album that was like, you know, that took him to the next level to me. You know what I mean? Like, so I never really.
But Fab is old. I'm just even talking about like now in 2020. Yeah. You can't tell me, like in 94, you could be like, yo, who's coming out of Brooklyn? Oh, you got this cat J. Rue the Damager. Like yo, you got Master Ace. Or yo, you got like, there were literally 5 or 7 MCs lined up from every borough that you could be like, okay, there's absolutely nothing.
And I think what happened was, because New Yorkers, there was this thing that was, even if people were trying to get me to do it, like, they wanted me to sound more like Atlanta rappers. Like, you should try the trap beats. And it's like, yo, I'm not from there. I don't even know how to rap like that. You know what I mean? So like, but it was this mantra. Like, a lot of New York artists started to sound like cats from down south. You know what I mean? Based on, I guess, whatever was selling, whatever was on the radio. And it was like, people were like, yo, y'all should try to sound like this. But like, the cats in the city, a lot of New York artists in that era, even Jim Jones and them were trying to like sound. Even Kiss, Jadakiss always trying his hand at these down south beats, and it's like, yo, but that's not you. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of New York artists tried to take the blueprint of Atlanta over the last 10 years, and it really hasn't worked out for them because you're not from there. It's never going to sound as authentic if you're not from there. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why Buffalo, the Griselda movement is so crazy, because they stayed authentic to what they know. You know what I mean? I went to school I was up to school like outside of Syracuse, and there were no rappers from there for real. It was a couple Buffalo rappers who were nice, and a couple of Rochester rappers that were nice, but I never expected that to be like for them to give me what I've been missing from New York City hip hop, so to speak. You know what I mean? So It's kind of crazy how it's all evolved. But I'm hoping, we get somebody to like take the reins of and just really like go back and do their homework and take the reins of a Big, a Nas, a Kool G Rap, a Big Daddy Kane, a Rakim. Like I think this city, there's still a lane for that in this city for someone to take that and go. At least go the same places that Griselda's going with it. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's nobody here that's been doing that to me.
I think we gonna say, Chad?
I like that kid Graf a lot.
Graf is tough, but Graf is old though, Chad.
I can't help but
Yeah, but like you said, you what you said, the thing that you said earlier is like you're used to a certain type of hip hop. You grew up on a certain type of hip hop, and Graf delivers that for you. You know what I mean? Like he his cadence. He sounds like a New York nigga, and he delivers bars in an intellectual way that at least makes you think. You understand what I'm saying? I fuck with Graf heavy too. I think he's one of the dopest rappers to come out of the city. But him, Smoke DZA, they're all in that same lane, but they haven't like elevated to like superstardom to me. You know what I mean?
Where's this even from? But this is what I mean. I'm a hip hop nigga, and I don't even know where Smoke DZA is from.
He's from Harlem. He's from Harlem.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like back in the day, you knew where everybody was from.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very true.
Nobody ever had to be like, "Yo, where's Nas from? Is Nas from the Bronx?" Like, nigga, it's Queensbridge. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is where we're at now. You know what I mean? So, what about you, Chad?
You're talking about people who are used to being outside. Like this whole new set of people ain't outside. That's why you don't know where they from, because they in the house.
That's true.
Sorry, to say it like that. They in the house.
COVID.
Like
I'm just playing.
I mean, it's not just COVID. We're talking about a lot of years. Like you don't know a lot of the dudes because they're just not out like that. That's just, it's that simple. I mean,
so what was the question? Was what is your biggest surprise in hip hop?
My biggest, I want to say the how fast multiple albums, songs, and how quickly they're over. Like 28-minute albums, 7-song EPs. Like why? Like I remember when people were mad as hell about Illmatic being 10 songs and being as short as it was, and now it's like, yo, you get 5 on a joint. You get 5 on a joint.
Yeah. So just going back to Cardi, what's interesting? It always sends back to Cardi is that even. And I don't like to burn my bra or whatever all the time, but I feel like even as a woman, I forget about her. Mm-hmm. And I think that because until you brought up, I was like, oh yeah. I mean, so Chapper, I was like, oh yeah. And I think we all have this notion, especially like being from New York or close to New York, that like hip hop can only be one way. And like once it gets to the McDonald's level, it's not our hip hop anymore. And I feel like Cardi got there. And so we've kind of like, yo, you're not able to like hold a reign anymore. When in fact, you've moved the numbers that say you are at the level of the people that you just named. You've moved, if we're doing numbers, right? Like that's what you've done. But once you got to this like almost pop range, we kind of let you go. And I feel like that's kind of what happened to Cardi, because the Cardi you introduced me to, I forget what the song was, but she was like basically on a corner with mad niggas in her back wearing, it was like a red bandana.
That was the one. And I was like, and she was rapping. I was like, yo, these raps are outstanding. I was like, I don't know who, and it was like, this is before Bodak Yellow. This is like a year and a half before. Yeah. So I can remember being in my group chat, like, yo, Cardi got a joint, and niggas were laughing at me. I was like,
I have that album on my iTunes only because I remember you sending it through. So like,
yo, I was like, take a rap. And like I always say, like even like I said this about Jim Jones, he still gives me New York rap that I still yearn for as a kid. You know what I mean? Like he still delivers on over these Heatmakers beats that I was listening to when he was really banging with Cam and Diplomats Heavy in the early 2000s. Like that, and it's nostalgic for me. So he still delivers that for me, and I needed that. And when I heard Cardi reminded me of like a little bit of Remy. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like hard raps over these like real live hard beats, and I was like, yo, this shit is dope. You know what I mean? So, you know, I like another thing.
Can I call 20-second timeout real quick? Because is this a Cardi B that is this the Cardi that we just as radio listeners don't hear? Because here's the thing, something happened in 2000s that, and I never understood this because, you know, y'all knows Cassidy's my young boy, grew up across the street from me. And I'm telling everybody about Cassidy. I mean, Cassidy was a monster back in Philly, you know, battling. People used to come on our block to battle him and he killed everybody. And I'm telling everybody about Cassidy. And then Hotel comes out and everybody's like, nigga, this is your man. Like, and I'm like, no, I'm like, cop it, please. Like, no, this ain't wait for the second single. And then they was like, this shit with Mashonda, this is your man. Yeah. Like, so I feel like you have these MCs post 2000. I never got why the industry was doing this. They look for the dirtiest, grimiest MC and then polish them up.
Yeah,
to do radio songs. You know what I mean?
And it might be because of how the Mace template was. Because people, and I know Kill doesn't really bang with Mace, but Mace is probably one of my favorite rappers of all time. But when Mace first came out, he was known as Murder Mace. You know what I mean? And it was like, yo, I'm on these mixtapes.
Right. So that's what I'm saying about Cardi. Was this the Murder Mace Cardi that was not?
This is before Kodak. This is before Bodak Yellow. This is before she got real live famous. Like I'm telling you, I was literally shocked because all I knew her as was the stripper that was on IG with the crooked teeth. Yeah. And then like she was on Love and Hip Hop. And then I look up and I saw somebody post a video and I was like, here come Cardi. And I was like, yeah, these are bars though. Like, and one thing I will never ever deny, and one thing you always get respect from me is when I'm listening to rap and I'm hearing well delivered bars with punchlines and cadence and flow, I'm gonna honor that every single time. So I went on Twitter, I was like, oh, Cardi got a little joint. Niggas was laughing at me. Niggas were laughing at me. I posted the video and niggas were laughing at me. I'm like,
bro, trust me, if I would have saw the tweet, I would have been laughing at me and you have had infamous
conversations. Of course.
Because she was a stripper, she was on Love and Hip Hop, and it was like, what? But when you sat down and listened to the album, you were like, yo, this was that gritty New York thing. And I think once people get that polish, we let go of them. But at the end of the day, her card is still good on Gun Hill Road. From New York, and I'll just leave it like at that.
I got one question though. Let me ask you, what is New York sound now?
Well, that's a whole nother
and that's the thing. There is because it's been so convoluted. Like it's been so like they're trying to do. New Yorkers are trying to do everything else that everybody else does. Everybody else does, as opposed
to lost themselves in the process. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and that's what happened. You lost themselves in the sauce. So like, there's still artists out there who are still doing it. Joey Badass is still keeps it kind of true to New York. The Joel Ortizes, those are the older. I can't believe Joey Badass is like considered an old rapper now, but he is. He's in his 30s. You know what I mean? So I don't know any young cats that are, maybe there's a cat out of Harlem called East Harlem. His name is Neek Bucks, and I know A Boogie's man Don Q. Those are young cats that really rap, but even them they've kind of taken the template of trying to rap like Atlanta niggas, trying to do the trap rap, trying to do the drill rap that's so famous now, that Pop Smoke made so famous in New York. But you know, but I also think the piece that's missing is that, you know, it's the age part too, because these young cats, I can't expect somebody who was born in 2000 who's now 20 to make music for me. You know what I mean? Because they were born in 2000, you know what I mean? And they're following what they saw, you know, versus when I'm coming up in 84 buying Run DMC's first album, people emulate what they hear, you know what I mean? And we were hearing boom bap hip hop. So like, yeah, I know you're not a fan of Dave East. I fuck with Dave, you know what I mean? I fuck with Dave to an extent. I do fuck with Dave. I don't want to get things. He's had a couple of his last few projects I haven't really banged with like that, but I do fuck with Dave East though. And one of the things that people are always saying, Kill, we don't know what we're going to get with Dave. I want this, I want that. I said, look, he's a young boy. He's like 30 something. And I said, what I respect about him is he does what a lot of gospel artists do. And what I mean by that is when my wife first put me on to CC Wine and she had this joint called Everlasting Love. Dope album. Loved it. But it was contemporary gospel. I was excited for her next album. Went out, copped it, threw it in. And I'm like, yo, this is whack. And what it was praise and worship gospel, which is different than contemporary gospel. And it started showing me that gospel artists have different pockets that they go in at different times. And you kind of just have to, it's like catching a train. You catch an express or the local. You got to wait
for the train that you want. So sometimes Dave East will give you the trap album, and I'm like, let him have that. He a young boy. You know what I mean? Just don't buy that album. I'd rather you do that than give me an album of 3 of each. Like, I'm gonna give you 3 hood songs, 3 trap songs, 3 that. You know, I'd rather you just go do that album over there, and I'll just come back around on the next go round type thing like that. Yeah. So I mean, I think that's the problem, that us as old heads, I can't expect somebody who's 30 to make music, like you said, Chad, that's gonna make us think. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna, and I'm of the belief that now with hip hop, I believe we need to have subgenres. You know what I mean? I used to work at a jazz station. You've got modern jazz, you've got contemporary jazz, you got traditional jazz. Same thing with rock and roll. You ask my mother rock and roll, she's gonna tell you Chubby Checker. You ask somebody else rock and roll, they're gonna tell you Van Halen. You ask somebody else rock and roll, they're gonna tell you Bon Jovi. That's when we started cutting up the genre so we could say, oh, that's soft rock. Okay, no, that's heavy metal. So now you knew which show you're gonna go to. If you just say, yo, we got a hip hop show, you don't know who the fuck gonna be there. It could be Pop Smoke, it could be Cardi, it could be Conway, it could be
Lizzo. It could be Lizzo.
Right. You don't know who you're gonna get. So you need to say this is a heavy metal show. So now we know who's gonna be at the heavy metal show, and you don't have to waste your time. But right now it's just like, oh, this is just a hip hop show. You don't know who's gonna show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I think so the one thing that I'm surprised, that was actually one of them. I mean, I had to make some peace with that a while ago when people were calling Lizzo a rapper, and I was like, what the fuck is happening in the world? But it came and went. I don't see her anymore, so that's cool. And then one other thing I was surprised, and it's funny because I can't think of one of the songs right now. I feel really old, but like I like to listen to Hot 97 in the car when I was commuting to work, and there'll always be these little kid songs that come on, and they be the same beat from like, oh, okay, I'll say one. I don't know who sings it. Like, so the song Computer Love, right? Like that. These niggas remade the song, I Only Want You to Love.
Yeah.
The same fucking song. And I'm like, y'all aren't even trying anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even trying. And like, I kind of feel like how my parents were with like Diddy probably. They're like, oh, you sampling our, like, at least we made it fresh and we did something with it. Like, you are literally singing the same song and you're probably only getting 10% off the royalties of that goddamn song because you had to pay, you know, so much for it. And I don't know if I'm surprised, but I'm angry at it. I'm very angry. A, because it makes me feel old, and B, I think it's just like not original at all.
Right. Listen,
I don't even know if that's rap anymore. It's hip hop.
I'm not hating on anybody. Sometimes some remakes are dope. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is. You know, and there is good new music that does come out, and I may not like a whole album, but yo, if I like now because of Apple Music, yo, if it's 2 of them joints, I'll listen to 2 of them joints, and the rest of them joints will go to the trash bin.
You know,
that simple.
You know what I feel like they're doing? They're retroing songs. Like that's what's happening. They're changing the Jordan to a Nike Air, and they're putting it back on the radio.
Right. Even and not to go off tangent, even the Jordan 1s are starting to look more like Dunks. Am I bugging?
You're not.
I mean, so like,
and people are eating up because they never had it, or B, they had it and they want to get it back, right? So I'm in the car and listen to this. I don't like this song. I just like what it sounds like for what I thought it was, right? And it's fucked up, but that's me.
I'm of the opinion that it's no longer the people who had it; it's the people who never had it, or because the new shit wouldn't be able to exist the way it does.
Right. And I mean, like you said, everything goes around. You know, for my mom's, it was. You know, my mom's is a jazz musician, so I never got like the hip hop hate that most parents, you know, were like shooting like, oh, that's just James Brown, that's just that. My mom was like, yo, if you like it, roll with it. Like, I'm 10 years old, she taking me to the Fresh Fest, like in '84, you know. So, but I think one of those things is like, you know, with my daughter, I'm like, yo, or with my teens. This is what I do with my teens. I'll get in the car and I'll play them Nas's I Gave You Power. You know, and they listen to it, and at the end they're like, "Oh shit, Mr. Kill, he's a gun." And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Play it again." I'm like, "Play it again." Can your favorite MC do that? And they're like, "Nah." You know what I mean? So instead of me being like, "Yo, your music is trash," I'm gonna let you define you. I'm gonna play you what I'm listening to, and then ask you, or I'll play Nas's Rewind, where he tells a story backwards.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, "Mr. Kill, that don't make sense." Outside right, I'm like, "Nigga, say it backwards." They're like, "We right outside." I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "Yeah, now can your favorite MC do that?" Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's the thing for me. I'm of the age of where it's about skill. Y'all being the bridge, me and y'all always get into it. Y'all doesn't mind that Drake has ghostwriters. To me, that's an instant you're cut. Like, I'm not putting you in my top 10. You're going. I come from an era, I knew it was changing when Lil Wayne and Baby, when Gilly had to picture them kissing, and Gilly really thought that was the big joker. And niggas was telling me, well, come on, why can't a dude kiss his pop? Well, one, that's not his pop. We could just start right there. That's not his dad. So
for me, it was when Rick Ross got
right.
caught, when it was clearly known that he was a CO, and nobody cared. And I was like,
right,
this shit has changed. This is officially changed.
This is wrestling now. This is now wrestling, because you could have flipped it where it's like, again, hire me to do PR. Yeah, nigga, I was the CO, but I was the nigga bringing the coke in and blah, blah, blah. This nigga like, no, I wasn't the CO. Okay, fuck it, I was the CO, but here's my new album, and y'all gonna go buy it anyway. Like, that's when I knew just nobody. Guess what? In my day, if you found out Jay-Z wasn't from RC and he was from Rochester and he went to Catholic school, his card is done. Like, yo, you're done. If Eric B, Rakim wrote my fucking melody, if I saw him kissing Eric B, you're done. You're done. You have been Men in Black from hip hop history. And now nobody cares. It's just about the product. It's not about skills. So for me, with Cardi, it's always, is she writing those bars? So I feel you, y'all, like, yo, killed. She's on the corner. She got this. She's got that. But is it her? You know, anytime I quote a Drake line, I'm always like, Drake, AKA, or whoever wrote it for him this time. Like, I don't know.
And listen,
Kanye, my favorite Kanye beat was Cam's Down and Out. Whenever people be like, who's better, Just Blaze or Kanye? I'm like, Kanye, throwing Down and Out. Kanye said he didn't make the beat. See, now from this day forward, I don't know what you made. So I'm not playing detective with you. So now guess what? Kanye will never be a top 10 producer for me, because I don't know what you made and what you didn't make. So, you know, but I know y'all, you know, as the generations get younger, I think people don't care about who actually wrote it. It's just, is it a good song?
Is it a good song? I mean, it's just the era we live in. People, I mean, not only that, but also it's more about how much you produce out there too. And I think that's the reason why I don't necessarily give Drake a pass. But for one, Drake, I didn't come up on Drake, so it would, like I always tell you this, it would hurt my heart.
It wasn't like a heartbreak.
Exactly. It would hurt my heart if I heard Big had ghostwriters, which I did hear he might have had one or two, which kind of is in question.
Well, let's clear that up. What I heard was Mace wrote the Only You remix verse.
For Big, yeah.
And and I don't know if it was for Big. I'm not trying to pull no cards, but I heard what it was is that it was like an introduction, like, yo, let's see if he's nice. Okay, I'll do that or whatever like that. I'll say that.
Yeah, so I mean, there's that, and like I said, the mass production of hip hop. Like, the reason why I don't necessarily don't give Drake a pass, but I understand it is because, bruh, they're literally only 24 hours in a day, and you know, like, you gotta make music, you gotta do press, you gotta do interviews, you gotta do all this stuff when you're an artist. Not aside from taking care of just regular human being things. So like, having ghostwriters, I understand, because now you're trying to produce music at a much higher, not higher level, but
at a faster rate,
at a more quantifiable level. You know what I mean? Right. So that's just what it was for me. But yeah, it is what it is.
All right.
Facts.
Jones fan, please give us everything about Another Lane again. Where they can sign up, everything, where we can follow you, all that good stuff.
Okay. Another Lane is a digital marketplace for high volume sellers and those with high net worth sneakers. And we're also bringing authenticity and community back to the sneaker community. So you'll be able to talk to people on the platform. You'll be able to have your own store. So you just send a link and be like, yo, this is my store. It's got a name, it's got a photo, everything. And your shoes will be authenticated by legit authentication company. And we're looking to do a full launch, hopefully by end of November. We got some big news coming, son. We under embargo right now, but we got for that ass, and you'll hear soon. But you know, we just out here, we've been in the lab, we're grinding. I feel like I'm about to drop an album. I don't know what I'm saying. But
that's how it goes. That's how you got to do it. Keep it rolling. You know what I mean?
No, buy my shit. But it'll be membership based. So we're about keeping more money in your pocket for you. We started this because Chad was like, I could sell these speakers on my goddamn Instagram. I don't need these other platforms. Yes, we do use them sometimes, but if I sell them on Instagram, I get maximum money, maximum impact. People can talk to me. So we started this out of a need, and anybody who starts a product out of their own need, you know that shit's good, because at the end of the day, if we just use it, I'm straight. But I'm not only the president, once again, we're clients. We're going to be on the platform too. We're going to be buying from you, and we want you to buy from us too.
And just to touch it back, you know, just like you said, everybody's out there in the yard, but not everybody belongs out there in the yard.
Yeah.
And so we're going to make people get back in their corners. Pretty much.
Chad's the bully, yeah, we're so excited. Like I said, some really big news today, and I wish we could share it right now, but I don't know when you're going to put this out, but hopefully the news will be out there by then. But we're just, I mean, you know, we did the damn thing. Y'all knows, I think you were here at the crib, like I forget when you came through, but I think I was like a month out of leaving my job, right?
Oh, no, I remember I walked to the crib,
Kobe.
Kill, I walked to the crib. I was like, yo, man, how's work? She's like, yeah, great. I left like 2 weeks ago. I was like, wait, what?
I was like, what happened? For those white people. As I said that, I said straight up, like, and yeah, y'all knows me. This is, 14 years in the game or whatever. So he walked in. And so Chad left his job about 2 years ago. I left mine about a year ago, 2 weeks after y'all came to the crib, and just really been dedicated. It's been scary, but it's also been fun. And to bet on yourself, that's what we've done.
That's dope. That's dope. Well, look, anything we can do to help support it, just let us know. You know what I'm saying?
And that's not, what are your Instagram and Twitter handles, by the way?
So you can find at Another Lane. That's the company. My Instagram is at Adina_Jones. And then my Twitter is still at Adina_Andrews. Yeah, working on that. I want to ask TJ.
Just give him shoot him a holler. Listen,
but I want to keep my verification. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, but that should be. Listen, ask him. See what's up.
Anyway,
definitely.
That's my Twitter.
I mean, quiet as kept. So Kill got his OG account back. I'm not sure if I put the word in for him to hopefully get it back, and he got it back. Took a long time. Took 2 months, honestly, but he got it back.
Nigga, it took 7 months. I was not.
Oh,
nigga.
okay.
The last time I set up my OG account, there was no such thing as COVID.
Wow.
That's how long they banged me in the head for.
And the thing is, I made the promise to this man in front of God. I can make it in front of Twitter. So I lose my verification.
But listen, it is what it is. Twitter for me is S_Galactus, and Instagram is sneaker_Galactus.
Yes.
Of course, because I'm the Marvel evil villain that devours your whole sneaker world.
No question about it. Hey, Kill, when you come back up here, I'm taking you over there because it's crazy.
You got to bring
crazy in there.
You got to bring some of Tito's drinks, though. You got to. I don't want to delivery charge. I don't want to play.
So I got you. So speaking of that, I got an album coming out soon, very soon. It's been mixed. It's being mastered now. I had a meeting with Tito today because we are actually coming up with the drink to coincide with this album. So it'll be like kind of a celebratory thing. There'll only be 40 drinks made, so it'll be a very limited edition.
Okay.
So we'll promote that as well. The album's called Back to the Basement. Unfortunately, my bad, Chad, there's only 8 tracks on there, but that's how I work. You know what I mean? I give you 8 solid joints. I give you 8 solid joints, and you bang with them, and we'll move on. You know what I mean? That's how I roll. So yeah, it's a really dope album. Kill's got production on the album. It's produced mostly by my man King Rem, who produced What Up Though and Jada on the last album. So we got that in the works. Okay. I also got some other podcast type things going on as well. My Instagram and Twitter handle are the same. It's Yao G's Music. I talk rap, I talk hoops, I talk sneakers, I talk it all, honestly. I talk risk it all lists. My wife is well aware of my risk it all list. So, I just want to put that out there. You know what I mean? So there's no gray area per se. And yeah, we're gonna keep rolling. Album, I'm trying to have the album out hopefully by the end of October, if not definitely by the middle of November at the very latest. And I think you're gonna like it. So follow me, chat it up. You know what I mean? I'm all for all things, everything. So
listen.
Of course, what's
we're first team Yao all the time. That's one of my dreams, is that we have like a Yao track over some Another Lane visuals.
Say less. Say less.
What creative is? I'm waiting to see what checks I get, because I'm about keeping my people paid. But yeah, that is a goal.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to start planning some stuff. So
with the visuals looking like
Say less. We're locked in.
That's what it is. And Cass already know this with me, Kill889. I'm back on Twitter.
Back
like cook crack, man. Yo, I felt like I got robbed, y'all. Like, yo,
you know what's funny? I went to your because I probably never paid attention, but I knew you had a lot of followers. When I went to go to your OG account, when I went to the page, I was like, damn, 10K he almost lost. 10K followers he almost lost on that. You know what I mean? So it was like, yo, I'm glad my man's back, and now you can get back to interacting with all the people that kind of like missed you or whatever the case.
And that was the worst part. The worst part was when you lose your account, you just lose contact with people. It's like you lost your phone. You know what I mean? And I don't have nobody's numbers, and probably only 20% of that 10K got my backup account. So, you know, people like, yo, welcome back. And other people like, nigga, where you been? I'm like, nigga, like, you were one of the few people who still saw me talking my shit every day. But, you know, so it's definitely glad to be back. And more importantly, the 10K is just to big up other people's shit. Like on some word is born in Jesus type thing. Like, it ain't even about me. We gonna talk offline about what I can do to help with another. Like, that's really what it's about. Like, I just want to help other people get out there and get these. And these are real 10K people. This ain't nobody brought. These are real people that for 10 years I would spend time conversating and communicating with people. So it's dope to have that back. So Kill889, Twitter and IG. Me and my man Jalen Musa have a dope album. Well, it's an EP out called Surviving the Times. All the proceeds are going to all the families and people affected by Hurricane Laura. He's from Louisiana. His family lost everything. The house is gone. It's just land, like literally. So, you know, he hit me. He was like, Kill, I'm giving all my proceeds, my half from what we make to it. I was like, fuck it, throw my shit in too. He's in Cali now, was doing stuff every Saturday for the past 2 months, collecting stuff, drove it down to Houston, drove it down to Louisiana. So everything is at willmakebeatsforfood.com. Check it out. And I'll check y'all next week, the Jones fam. Thank you again for chopping it up with us. Yeah, geez, you already know what it is with us. We'll find something to argue about someday, somehow.
I'm sure.
Somewhere.
Probably tomorrow, I'm sure. Definitely.
Exactly, y'all. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
All right.